kind of give everybody an update on Casey. He's doing great. Talked to him this morning. He already got 4 laps around his hospital floor. Pretty amazing. 24 hours after surgery, not even that. He's doing great. Got a positive attitude. He's got a big smile on his face. It's unbelievable. I mean, we're going to talk about football here in a minute. We're going to talk about this, that, the season. I mean, that's the main story. It's unbelievable. So we are surrounded by a person who should be inspiring all of us daily and make us very thankful for what we have and his presence. So, but he's doing great. Wanted me to tell everybody hi and wishes he could be here. What a fun day. What a fun day. You know, when you sit there and look at all the alumni coming back, former players coming back, all those NFL alumni. I mean, you'd love to take an all-star team and just put all of them on one team and see what would happen. Just tremendous to have those guys back. Not only that, having Assezi drafted during the spring game, and then obviously Daniel Faalele, going to Baltimore. First lineman drafted since 2006. Finally, right? Finally, Paul. And hopefully some more to come. But just an amazing time in the Twin City area. So many positive things going on. Even thinking back to last night with the Timberwolves game and the atmosphere, how electric that was. That young team and what they're going to become, and Twins in first place. I can go on and on. There's just so much good, and I think a lot more people should focus on that too as we keep going forward. I'm not just talking to you, but just in general. There's so many good things going on, and it was just a really positive day for our program, our university, our football program, and our alumni. And it was good to have our family back in the house. So with that, we'll open up for questions.
PJ, you talking about breaking the boring, nothing quite like sudden death kicks to.
I was telling JG out there, and I think I need to go into, you always think about like post-coaching careers. Television producing might be in my future. They said you got till 2:58 to get this thing done. I was about 2:10 when they told me that. So you're sitting there thinking, how are we going to finish this? I ran over to Coach Simon. I said, could you please score and get a touchdown fast, like in the next 3 plays? Then we had to go overtime, and then after that, we have to go to the kicks. And I'm not so sure what I would have done if Dragan would have made that last one plus trick. I'm not sure what we would have done. They would have just, TV doesn't wait for anybody. They would have cut us and just worked out that way. So maybe Dragan did everybody a favor. I don't know. But it was wonderful to come down to the final, sudden death and give our kickers a little bit of pressure. We got 2 phenomenal kickers that I think we're going to be able to utilize a lot. Our specialists have worked really hard. Rob Wenger has done a great job with our special teams. And this year, probably different than most years we've had in the special teams unit. A lot more quad team members, a lot more starters on special teams than just our defensive starters. 11 offensive starters, 11 defensive starters, and probably going to have anywhere between 7, 8, 9 special team starters in all 4 special teams, which we haven't had here yet. So it's a credit to him and what he's done.
What did you see from your young defensive lineman today?
I saw grit, saw toughness. There was a lot of plays. And we held a lot of guys out, played some guys, then pulled them, and really to get them work. We talked about at the beginning, we have to become a really tough football team. We have really good players. We have really youthful players, but they need reps. They need to go out there in game-like atmospheres and play. And I thought they did that. I thought they responded well. I loved how it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Quarterback's got a lot of experience as well. But when you look at that defensive line, and we've got a lot of depth there, hopefully we can keep it. Right, as we kind of go through the 2022 movement here of college athletics and student athletes. But, I thought they played really hard on both sides and gained valuable plays and snaps that are, I think, going to help us with our depth as we keep going into the season.
How excited are you about the speed and mix of skill sets you have in your secondary?
I'm really excited. I think we've talked about this before, Daniel. We talked about, I think, even top down, the top part, the secondary part of our defense might be the deepest and best we've had here. With all due respect of who's played here before, the Super Bowl champ, second-round draft pick sitting out there. I'm not saying I wouldn't want him back. I definitely would. But when you look top to bottom and you look at depth chart and you look at the backup safeties and you look at the corners and the depth we have there to our nickels, we've had more depth and probably more speed and athleticism and experience than we've had back there. So, I'm expecting big things from them. They know that. Nobody puts more pressure on ourselves than us. But I thought guys played like Beanie Bishop played a really good game today. Ryan Stapp played a really good game today. You look at Darius Green, Michael Dixon didn't play, but he's coming on really strong. Look at all those guys. I mean, it's fun. I mean, even like Tyreek Watson. I mean, you watch him. He's already gained 20 pounds since he got here. He was pretty skinny when he got here, and he's going to be a really good player. Might be the fastest guy on the team. So Again, a lot of depth back there, and we get T-Time back. He didn't play today either. Justin Wally didn't play either. So again, that's what the whole point of this was: take the floor and elevate it as we can continue to build depth for our football team.
What did you see out of Larry Wright today? 3 catches and a touchdown. Big plays.
He made some really big plays. One thing, I had a conversation with Larry probably a year ago at this time, and I said, Larry, if you take this really serious and you keep developing, like, you're going to have a chance to play here. He's got great size, got great length. He works his tail off. But I thought there was a decision he had to make last year to really want to, mature, grow up in all the good ways, and he did. And he takes it very seriously. He works really hard. Coach Simon's done a great job of developing him, but he's put a lot of work in, and you saw that today pay off. And again, the more depth we can create even at that position, the better.
I know you don't believe in coincidences, but Mike Brown-Stevens had quite a few touches today. Was there anything behind that?
No, he caught the ones that were thrown to him. There were some other ones that weren't caught and were either overthrown, underthrown, out of bounds, something like that, or even just dropped. But I'll say this, Michael Brown-Stevens has come so far. From the day he got here, academically, athletically, socially, spiritually. There might not be a guy who's grown more than Michael Brown-Stevens. And the reliability and the trust factor we have in him, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot. Last year, I thought that the one thing he could do is run. Just run. Run and catch a deep ball. Well, there's so many other things we can do with him now. And you start adding him with, the Chris Ottman-Bells and the Dalen Wrights and the Daniel Jacksons. We didn't even have Lemeke Brockington today. You can see Ike White's a true freshman who just got here, who's got a really good skill set. Clay Geary, we didn't play at all as well. Again, it's fun when you can talk about all these names, right? Because the deeper we are, the better we're going to be as we continue to go through the season.
Take 2 more for Coach. What are the biggest things you learned about your 22 team here in the last month?
Well, we talk about we're really fast. This is the fastest team probably we've had. One of the most athletic teams by the numbers, Daniel. You'll love that, by the numbers from our testing. But we also talked about this team, for us to be as good as we want to be, we have to be really tough. And tough's not about just, putting your head on, putting your face on somebody else's face and just smashing in pads and helmets. It's not that. It's the ability to overcome adversity. It's the ability to respond. It's the ability to thrive in the struggle. It's the ability to use your resources when you're struggling. It's the ability to communicate, talk, open up. There's so much about toughness that we just kind of focus on. Just football, this sport where it's a violent sport, and that creates the toughness. That's not true. Just like when you watch our practice, we never condition at the end. The how we practice is making us tough, right? The ability we have to match. That's toughness. And that's very difficult in 2022 to find, create, and find creative ways to continue to do it. But I want this team to be tougher tomorrow than we were yesterday. And again, it takes all of those things coming together for us to be a tough football team.
Is there anything out of this spring that you look at as the main focal point that you want to see improve before fall camp begins?
I think, Andy, for me, I always think worst case scenarios, right? I mean, last year when you think of depth, you look at running back and you're like, man, you guys got so many running backs. Well, yeah, and then 5 got hurt, right? Look at the wideouts, man. You got some wideouts to throw the football. Well, then 4 got hurt and played pretty much half the year, each guy. So it's constantly looking at worst case scenario, but you got to be the most positive guy in the room. And it's a weird balance because as you're building your football team, not only are you 2 years out, not only are you dealing with the transfer portal, not only are you dealing with NIL, you're dealing with the depth of your football team. And, hopefully, we keep everybody here, with May 1st coming around. But for me, it's constantly knowing that we have the depth to be able to go through a long season, get as many guys on the field that can be productive for us offensively, defensively, and special teams, and just keep closing that gap from where we were yesterday. Because, again, there's not just about the end destination. It's not about that. It's not just about the end. It's about the journey getting there. This team has chased every challenge we put in front of them since January. I mean, they're picking them up, putting them down left and right, and I give them a lot of credit for that. And the leadership deserves a lot of credit on our football team. Players, leadership.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Mile, go Gophers. Thanks for being here.